I extended my bumper on my trailer and added a aluminum storage box on the back of the trailer, and so I had to relocate my spare tire, which used to hang on that bumper. Here's the original location, and that's how they usually come from the factory on most trailers. They're on a bracket on the bumper of the trailer. I wanted to mount the spare tire underneath the trailer and out of the way. It's seldom used, so it can be tucked up underneath the frame quite easily. So I moved mine to just in front of the front entry door and close to the front tongue of the trailer. Here's a shot from under the trailer. That's my son laying there on the ground, and we actually did both of our travel trailers at the same time. Used slightly different methods of mounting them because of the differences in the trailers, but the wind-up tire storage is identical on both units. You'll see the changes later on in the video. Now on this slide I've identified all the components of building this particular tire carrier, and we're back under my trailer right now, so I'll go over them starting at the top in the white arrow showing the cable housing. Now these are tire carriers that we got from the auto parts store. They're used, and they're found on many pickup trucks now, and what it is a container holding the spool of wire that you can wind up. If we go to the left, the cranking rod there with the red arrow, you can see you crank that rod and the cable marked in the blue arrow will either go up or down depending on the way you crank the handle. Now I mounted mine on a steel angle iron, and what it actually was a salvaged bed frame. You can see at the far end there that's how the bed would mount to the frame, but this worked as a great cross member. I didn't have any place else to mount it, so I made my own extra frame, and it works great. And because it has a flange at both ends, I can bolt it to the outside frame of the trailer, and then adjust it so I can bolt the two pieces angled together. So it made a great carrier. Now the way I raise and lower my tire, I just use my cordless drill. Put a nut driver on there, and you can see the tire coming down. It gets a little difficult holding the camera and trying to operate the drill at the same time here, but you can see how it works. And here are my tools that I use to raise and lower the tire. So here's the parts that I needed to operate my new tire lift. I used the 5/8 deep nut, and I jammed that into the end of the lifting rod or cranking rod. I have a 3/8 socket driver for my cordless drill that fits into my 5/8 drive, or my 3/8 drive, but my 5/8 socket. And you'll note I have that on the bottom there, I have my note to self. What the hell is this socket for? Because I put a piece of tape on it and put on it spare tire, so that when it goes in my toolbox in the back of my trailer in my new storage box, I know what it's for. Otherwise I would never remember. Anyway, kind of archaic, but it works for me. Here I'll show you how the whole apparatus works. There's a collar or large washer here that goes inside the center of the tire. You just have to put the tire on the ground. Don't have to worry about if it's lined up or not with the top part. Once that collar's through the wheel, you just start cranking and it'll self-center. Now you'll see up here I've got a couple of supporting bars, and you'll see later in the video how these work, and I'll show you what they're all about. Here in this still, I can show you some of the bracing we had to put in. Now on this particular trailer there was an existing cross frame. That's the yellow arrow at the bottom right there. There was an existing angle, so we could mount our cranking mechanism right onto a piece of angle iron that I bolted to that existing cross frame. Now once we cranked the wheel up, it had nothing to rest on. The edges, like the rubber part of the tire, had nothing to rest on, so it wobbled back and forth. So I put in these cross braces that's indicated by the orange arrows there. And what they are, they're just drywall 1.5 U-channel, very inexpensive, galvanized so it won't rust. And there's one at the towards the front of the trailer, and there's one towards the back of the trailer. You can see it just at the very bottom of the picture there. And then on top of those, we mounted a wooden brace with a piece of plywood on the top there. So when the tire cranks up and tightens against these metal U-channels, the two braces, there's one at the bottom and one at the top there, you can see the two wooden braces press against the floor underneath the trailer, and the tire is now nice and secure and tight up against the bracing. Tire cranks up relatively easy. There's no strain whatsoever with you using your power driver, and I would suggest that just about any driver of any size, even a small 9-volt one, would work just as fine. Now it's up against the bracing. Just check to make sure how tight it is. Make sure it's nice and tight. And there's all you need. Solid as a rock, out of the way, stays clean.